Bago ka ba sa channel na to, huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe at i-hit ang notification bell para ma-update kayo sa mga upcoming videos ko. Maraming salamat mga sir.
So magandang tanghali. Good afternoon, guys, to all our viewers of the Last 2 Minutes podcast. Again, we are here tanghaling tapat, and we are actually masanay na kayo with, especially during the weekend sa mga viewers natin, and we actually have a special guest. He is not actually a basketball player, but he is one of the most important people in the basketball game. So it's not just the players, the officials, and the coaches that are important in the basketball game. He is none other than the director and founder of Tumakbo United. He's Mr. George Quitonario. Good
Hello.
evening, sir, to you, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everybody there. How is everybody doing? Good afternoon.
Doing good.
Sir, how are you doing during this pandemic?
It's starting to open up here in California, in Southern California. I live in Orange County, California, close to Disneyland. I'm about 15, 20 minutes away from Disneyland, so you guys kind of know where I live. But it's been better. I mean, the people are getting their vaccinations. I've already got my vaccinations. So, people are still wearing the masks and taking precautions. I've been doing that. But overall, my family's, a lot of my friends are well and safe. Thank you for asking.
That's awesome. I know that our first priority is health and safety, right? So,
right.
All right. So,
Absolutely.
sir, how did the Tumakbo United came about?
Wow. Well, there was a couple. Well, I should say I was director for another Phil-Am organization out here in Southern California. And we were basically getting all the Filipino players from 5 years old to high school as a community to have them play on teams together, all Pinoy, just to experience each other because, as you know, here in Southern California, there's so many Filipinos. And from Santa Barbara to San Diego to you name it, LA. Our mission was to get Filipino players to play together as a team, and that was just our goal, just to have an all Filipino team here in Southern California, and it worked well. Filipinos, we spread things by mouth, so we say, oh well, this is good food, this is a good restaurant, it's a good movie, go to see it, But this one, we were saying, oh, this is a good program if you want to start in basketball, if you're Filipino, because we were an all Filipino organization. At the time when we were developing that, of course, we couldn't be we couldn't say if you're not Filipino, you couldn't join us. So we were open to all races, but about 80% were Filipino players. So we had the program for about 4 years, and I decided, well, there must be more to this for some of our more skilled players. And a friend of mine that you probably know, Tony De La Cruz, former PBA player, and he's also a Phil-Am. He kind of mentioned to me, hey, George, you should be concentrating on high school players and help develop them and maybe get them to Philippines or help them get scholarships here in America. So I had an idea. So I started doing that. I started developing 9th and 10th graders at first. And then it kind of expanded because other parents were interested in our program and what we were trying to do. And we're basically trying to give exposure to our high school players abroad to Philippines and hopefully get a scholarship there, just like how Tony De La Cruz, it happened to him 18 years ago or 19 years ago, it happened to him. So that's basically the roots of it, how it started. So yeah,
that is actually an awesome advocacy, sir. So with regard to California, there's a tight-knit group of a Filipino community there, right?
Well, when you say tight, I mean it's about 1.5 million tight. So that's a really, you're talking about from San Francisco all the way to San Diego. So a lot of Filipinos here, as you guys know that, and I always thought the West Coast, and I know the East Coast has a lot of, the population there is large as well, but I know everyone immigrated here first to California, in the beginning. So I always consider this like, the second or third island of Pinas. This is because there's so many Pinoys here. We've got everything, a grocery. I mean, certain parts of California, Carson, Cerritos, it's like Philippines. So I love it. The only thing missing is jeepney and tricycle in the road. So it's great. So
it is actually great to speak to a person living in California, because we're just hearing news about it, but you've already informed us, so it's awesome to hear that.
Yeah, you'd be pleasantly surprised. I mean, I went to college here, and it was important to still learn about culture. And there was a Filipino club at my university, and it's been there since, now it's probably been there 40 years, the club. I went to UC Irvine, University of California, Irvine. The club was called Kababayan. And it was very important that I learned the culture, because growing up here in America, you don't, especially in some areas where it's not just all Filipino, you kind of lose that aspect. So that was part of also the Tumakbo and the other organization that I was director for. That was our mission, was to share our culture to the younger generation. So.
Well, thank you, sir.
Hi, Sir George. Good evening.
Good afternoon.
I'm thinking from the sideline. And you briefly said about the goals of Tumakbo just a while ago. Mm-hmm. But what are exactly the mission and goals of Tumakbo?
Well, our mission it's twofold, I guess. It's to give our players and our families, first, to learn about the culture, because we talk about Philippines all the time to our kids. From 5 years old, like I said. 9 years old is when we start our teams, to high school. So our mission is to let them know, hey, be proud to be Filipino, be proud to be not just Filipino American, just Filipino. I mean, I hate saying the American part, but it's still Filipino blood, especially if your mom or dad were born in the Philippines, or your grandma or grandpa. So our mission was to expose them to that, and also let them know that, hey, basketball in the Philippines it's a big deal, and maybe you have an opportunity to play there, maybe. Or if we were trying to help them stay here, of course, to play college. That's one of our goals, and our mission statement for our kids is to help them and their families get educated on the possibilities of playing in the Philippines, along with the culture. So.
What is the difference of Tumakbo from other basketball program, Sir George, especially there in US?
Are you talking about like the non-Filipino organizations, like the AAU club teams, like that? Is that what you're, or the other Filipino organ?
Or Filipino community?
Well, the East Coast, they have, I'm not sure if you have anybody from the East Coast, but there's so many Filipino Phil-Am organizations, and also in Canada, that are basketball programs, youth basketball programs. The difference with us and them is not so different. I mean, we still, we're still, I would say we're still trying to provide information to our families, and letting them know that this is what can, what's the next step for these players. But for us here, it's not basically, oh, well, if you can't make a team in the Philippines, then you're not anything. That's not our difference from them. But what both of the organizations from the East Coast, Midwest, and us, we still have the same goals, and that's to help the Filipino player, and that's it. I mean, that's just the bottom line. There's no difference. I don't think. I mean, they're trying to help their players. We're trying to help our players, and we're all Filipino, and that's it. So. And we're not at war. We don't. And I want to make this clear. With our community here in Southern California, with all the players that we have, I mean, there's so many here, and supporting other Phil-Am organizations here in the West Coast, Texas, Chicago area, and the East Coast, we do that as our organization. We do support that. We do support their tournaments, and the thing is, there's so many Filipino tournaments here that you can't go to all of them, but we try to support as many as we can. And that's what we try to do. Maybe that's one of the differences, that we'll go to any tournament to help a Phil-Am organization or Phil Canadian. I mean, I've sent teams to Toronto, to help their tournaments out. So I hope that answers the question.
And as you've said, sir, it is actually a challenge or for you to actually support. It's because as we know, states are huge. It's not like the Philippines that we are actually a small group of islands. But was it a struggle to make this dream a reality? And what are your challenges in the beginning, all throughout?
I didn't see any. For me personally, there was no challenges because even if we had 5 players, that was good enough. If I could help them attain, maybe getting them on a high school team, maybe getting them to varsity level, or just letting them know about our culture, that would have been great. It just, as you know, in the Filipino communities here, it just word spreads like fire. I mean, if you're doing something right, and then it comes back to you, and I believe in that. So there's no challenges for me in regards to that, and even now, I don't see any challenges. My challenge is to make sure that our basketball players, achieve their goals. I guess that's the challenge I have. I want them to achieve is to make a freshman team in high school, or a varsity team, or maybe an 8th grade team in their middle school, or maybe getting a scholarship in Philippines or here. That those are probably my challenges for my players, and it's all about them anyway. So.
I see. Since you've mentioned, sir, AAU, are you joining some AAU tournaments there?
All the time.
Filipino?
No. The AAU tournaments it's mixed. So
yeah,
we're probably majority of the time we're the only Filipino team playing in those non-Filipino tournaments out here on the West Coast. Yeah, because we start at 9 years old.
Oh, I see.
All the way up to starting at 9U. And then all the way to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, all the way up to 20U, our first year, second year college students. So that's what our program is. So, and we play every weekend. Here in California, there's a tournament every weekend. It's not like Pasarel in Philippines, not like that. It's different competition, but it's good. It's good for the Pinoy player, I think, in the long run.
It is
playing that type of talent.
For sure. It's getting them into sports at a very young age, right?
Absolutely. And I encourage the families not just to concentrate on basketball, but all types of sports: swimming, karate, baseball, football, because we have so many opportunities here in the Southern California area because of the weather. So we can do everything here. It's a nice weather. It doesn't snow here. So
Nash.
Yes, sir. Just want to ask, what's the best thing you've learned from establishing Tumakbo United?
I think that's a tough question, but I think the toughest. Well, what was the question again?
The best thing you've learned from
the best thing I've learned
your organization.
Community, of course, having the families together and having the kids play together. They're establishing lifelong friends. I've had guys that back in the other organization that I was with, I mean, they've graduated college, got engaged, some already had kids, some graduated college, just a whole life experience with these kids growing up with them. And a lot of these kids now I've had since 2013, 2012. So a lot of them are in college now, and a lot of them will be finishing college. And then I got that other generation, the 9-year-olds, 8, 9-year-olds, that I'll start with them. Hopefully I'm around to see them graduate as well. So I hope that answers the question, Nash.
Yeah, that's the best thing your organization is being part of their growth.
Yes, I hope so. I mean, even if it's not the thing is, I just want them to have a great experience with Tumakbo. If it's basketball they love, and then we'll help them wherever, and we'll use all our resources to help them get to their goals, whatever it may be in basketball. So.
My next question, you've said that you want to help them to learn. So what's the particular skill do you think our future players need to improve, especially the Pan-American players?
Well, the game in Pinas is totally different from here. In Pinas, it's very physical. and quick. Even, nowadays, I mean, I used to watch PBA, 25, 30 years ago, before some of you guys were born. So here we have to teach them the physicality, because as Filipino players, stature-wise, we're not big kids. We're not big guys. So we have to play smart and use our skills, which is speed. So to answer your question, a lot of the training that we do is ball handling and basically guard play. Even our kids that are 6'4", 6'3", 6'2", we still teach them how to be a guard, because here in California, there's big guards. Here in their high schools here. In the Philippines now, I think a lot of the players that are tall, that are just the same size, 6'4", 6'5", they handle the ball like guards as well. So I would say that just ball handling and guard play for us is always, 80% of the time that we're teaching them.
All right, ball handling skills. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Hi, sir. Sports Icon PH. What can you tell us about the positive trends you see in Tumakbo United?
Well, since we've started the program, the players, our system is 80% training, 20% games. So we go by that philosophy, 80-20. So with that, I've seen the last, say, 5 years, a lot of our players have, gotten better skill-wise. And that's something that I really I'm proud of, because they're really buying into our training program. So this enables them to get to another level for their skill level as well as their play. So continuing, we're going to continue to train, because if you don't train, you don't know what to do on the court if you're not training. So our concentration on ball handling, our defensive sets, offensive sets, of course shooting. All Filipino players can shoot. It's just being consistent. That's the thing. So trending wise, I think our players have been getting stronger and getting faster, and skill levels, getting up there. Because if they want to play in the Philippines, you got to have all three. And plus, you got to play defense in Pinas, or else the coach is not going to look at you. So I know that from all the coaching friends I have there in Pinas, what they tell me.
What about the negative trends?
Negative trends, the hero ball. Some kids, they want to be the hero. Sometimes they're not realizing they're on a team, and we got to teach them that team play is very important. And any sport, especially basketball. So that's probably the negative part that I see sometimes. Some of our more skilled players, they think they can take control of a game, but you need that team. You need that team play. You got to be a good teammate and share the ball. And not everybody's Kobe Bryant. So that's the thing I always tell them, no hero ball in our program. So.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Boleros?
You're welcome.
It only happens in 2K, right? The hero ball only happens in 2K.
Absolutely.
So, by the way, sir, seeing your kids, I consider them your kids already. How does it feel seeing them achieve their hoop dreams, especially in the pros or getting them in school?
Oh, well, I'll tell you, I don't have a son. So all these are my nephews. I've got hundreds of nephews over the years, and I love them all. But I'm very proud of all of them, regardless if they make pro or high school varsity or college. But the ones that do, of course, it's special that they do. They accomplish their goals, and it's for them and what they want to do in life. But I'm proud of all of them. So, but once they attain their goals, I'm with them 100%, regardless whatever they want to choose in life.
Thank you.
Sir, another question. Aside from basketball skills, what values and attitude have been developed to the players that have undergone your basketball program?
Well, being a good teammate is something very important. Like I said, basketball, you have teammates. You're not a solo player. It's not tennis. So this is a team effort. You have to learn how to play as a team. You got to be a good teammate in every aspect. to help your teammates win and the whole organization. So my emphasis is not we have to win every time. It's just that I want to make sure these kids are playing together, so they understand this is going to lead them to better things. As if you're playing as a teammate, a good teammate, and understanding your role on teams, this will help you in the future, regardless of what level you're going to end up. So that's what we emphasize. We try to emphasize those skills. Everything else, shooting, ball handling, and all that. You got to learn that individually. So that's your skill set. But there's another skill set is also being a good teammate, and we have to emphasize that all the time.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Being a good teammate, they will not only bring that to the basketball career, but even in the office or whatever organization they're going.
Yep. I agree. 100%. Yep.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, sir. When a player comes to you for help, sir, tell us about the process you go through. How do you select the skill for your players?
In Tumakbo, we don't have a tryout. We don't say, well, you have to try out. We evaluate. That's our thing. Because we don't have enough teams to accommodate the number of players that want to play for Tumakbo. So what we do an evaluation workout for some of the players. We'll allow them to come 2 to 3 times and to evaluate them and let them know this is what you need to work on. Maybe you can work on this before we get you on a team. The thing is, I can't promise, players that come or referred to us that, hey, you'll be part of a team. That's not our thing. Our thing is to develop the player, not necessarily the team. It's the player first. See if they have the skill set to be on the team. Because it would be unfair to say to an intermediate level player and put him on a advanced team and he's lost. It wouldn't be fair to him. And that's not what we want to do. We want to make sure he or she is able to have that skill set to be on one of our teams. So like I said, it's more evaluation workout than anything. Like I told Mr. Nash, it's the 80-20 rule that we do. We do 80% of training and 20% games. So that's our focus for Tumakbo.
I see. For my last question, what would be your advice to aspiring PhilAm players on how to join Tumakbo United?
Drink a lot of milk, sleep a lot so you can grow. No, I think there's no really set plan, or we don't have a standard where you have to be like this to join Tumakbo. Because like I said, we get the players at a young age and we're developing already. A lot of our high school players, they're already skilled already that we don't really have to overdevelop them. We just have to get them to certain sets that they'd be ready for, say, a varsity level workout or maybe a college workout or exposure camp or something. But for the little kids, we want them to enjoy the sport, not too much pressure. But we can also understand some of the parents, like they want the kids to get, I guess, advance within a short time, but it doesn't happen that way. You got to put in the work. So like I said, we don't have a set rules or how we, let people into Tumakbo. It's that evaluation. That's basically it. That's what we do. So.
Oh, yes, sir. Brody.
First of all, sir, I'm really jealous because in California, it's just like Manila. Here in Poland, it's totally different. We have snow.
Yeah.
So it's totally different. So,
wow, you're in Poland? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Wow, okay.
Yep, my wife actually works here. So I actually came from UK last year. We just moved to Poland recently.
Wow,
And,
okay.
Yeah.
It must be late. It must be late there. It's late. Morning. Yeah, it's early morning, right?
Early morning. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
But it's okay. Regarding the Tumakbo basketball, are there any PhilAms under your program that we should watch out for?
There's a lot. I'll probably send it to you guys, the pictures, and I have a long list, so it would take us an hour to go through all of them. But yeah, we have a lot of talent just all over the United States, not just here on the West Coast, because we do have a Tumakbo branch in Chicago under director and coach Homer Yamsuan. I think some of you know him. So he's spearheading our program there in the Midwest area. So he also covers a little bit of the East Coast and parts of Canada. So, and then we have another coach in Northern California, Coach Asque, Coach Alan Asque. I think some of you know him too. He heads our Northern California program. So we do have quite a few prospects, or look out for Phil Ams. I'm sure you guys will find out who they are.
We are so excited about that.
Yeah, I'd like to name drop, but it's really, the thing is with our boys and girls that are top prospects, I respect them, and in regards to what type of exposure they want. So I don't really name any players unless you look on our Instagram, where we always put pictures of our players there. It's all about them. You rarely see me on there or any of my coaches unless they're training. It's all about our players. So a lot of those players that you see are basically prospects in the next 3 to 5 years. The ones that are currently in high school, I mean, we've got a bunch, and from here to the Midwest. But I can send you the list if you want. Is that okay?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Because if I miss somebody, someone's going to be upset. One of my players. So if I don't mention their name.
Okay, sir. Totally understand. Regarding my next question, one issue for field foreigners in the US is the lack of knowledge regarding eligibility to play as a local player for Gilas Pilipinas, our national team. What are the things you are currently doing to inform PhilAms with regards to the school? And do you work hand in hand with the Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas, the SBP?
To answer your first part of your question, I've known the rules forever. So, and if we've had players play on the Gillis national team, the Ramos brothers, Dwight and Eli, they're from here. They played for me as well, and they were on I think Dwight was on 19U, I believe, 1 year. And we've had several players put on the watch list for SBP. But in regards to all the rules, we do know the rules that they have to be eligible or have their passport by 16 years old. So we're aware of that. In regards to who we're connected or who I know, Dean Castano, he's an SBP Gillis recruiter, been a friend of my program for a long time. He's assistant coach at Ateneo as well. So he gives us the updated rules, whatever may change. But yeah, we've been educating our prospects and our players for years to let them know they have to get their passport. I've been telling them to get it by 10 years old, because it's by 10 you can see some of the talent. And I always tell the parents, it doesn't hurt to get their dual if they're eligible, might as well get it. So you don't have to worry about it. But we do have a lot of players that have gotten their dual citizenship because they're aware of the rules, and they want to play for Gillis, the youth teams. I'll throw a name out there. Since Jaden Harper, 15-year-old freshman out here in California, he's eligible to get his dual, and he's in the process. So 6'7" kid, still growing. Hopefully, good talent, and he's been with us since I think 7th grade. So he's been, and he's gotten even better ever since. So, I use him because they're in the process now. So, and a lot of the parents, like I've said, they know they have to get it before 16 if they want to be eligible for Gillis. So.
Yeah, actually, I was just about to ask that about Jaden Harper, but thank you for bringing that up. We are really excited on that prospect.
Yeah, his nana is gonna go, why'd you say his name? I go, I had to say somebody's name, so that's okay.
Yeah, I think everyone in the YouTube world is putting Jaden Harper's name in their dream Gilas lineup. So thank you for Tumakbo for doing everything on his eligibility as well.
Yeah. And Coach Dean has been instrumental in helping us with everything since he's the Gillis recruiter. So he's been very helpful with the program.
I think
We're lucky to have.
Yeah, I think after this, everyone in the YouTube will thank Tumakbo Basketball for helping the Phil-Am prospects regarding eligibility, because some fans are really frustrated if they know a Phil-Am and then later on we will find out that, oh, they are not eligible. So thank you for Tumakbo Basketball. And my next question, and actually this is the last, how can you measure the success of Tumakbo Basketball?
You know what? That's another tough. You guys asking me tough questions here. You know, I can't measure it. I don't know how to measure it. With all the boys and girls that have gone through the program, I'm just happy for all of them. I am just happy I could help in any way. You know, we're a nonprofit organization, so helping these kids and their families attain a dream or a goal. That's been something that myself and my coaches, Coach Alan Kajayon, Coach Matthew Ball, Coach Rob Valentine, all these coaches, Coach Armando Perez, all these guys have been doing it because the passion to help Phil-Ams, you know, and now we have a great group in Chicago helping that area, as well as Phil Canadians as well. So I don't know how to measure it. I think all of us would probably answer the same way. We don't know how to measure it. I mean, we could have 20 PBA guys and, you know, 10 D1 guys here, and then maybe another 30, you know, in PNAS playing UAP, another 30 playing NCAA, another 10 playing NASCU, and another 10 playing UCBL. I don't know is that how you measure it? I don't know, because I think we have that already. So that's been under organization or played with us or trained with us. So I'm very proud of all of them. And I'm sorry I can't answer you and how I measure the success. Sorry, I don't have a decent answer for that.
But that's totally understandable. And we really support Tumakbo Basketball with your advocacy.
Thank you.
And thank you, sir.
Thank you. Salamat. Maraming salamat.
And sir, in relation to his question, for my final question, what do you see in 5 years for Tumakbo United?
Wow. I'm hoping we have some kind of training facility in Pinas for our players, for all Phil4, not just Phil-Ams or Phil Australia, you know, that they can go work out and prepare for, you know, probably getting exposure or getting looks from the coaches there. Because it's tough, because only a certain amount of coaches come from Pinas to come visit here on the West Coast and the East Coast. So if there's some type of training facility there, it doesn't have to be Tumakbo, but if there's something we can collaborate with other organizations here in the US and Canada, that would be something I'd like to see in 5 years for our prospects from everywhere. Because I think the PBA and PBL and UAP, NCAA, I think it's great to have other Filipinos from different parts of the world participate in those leagues. I think it just makes it all better. It's changing. You know, everything's changing. The basketball culture in the Philippines. So, you know, hopefully, that's one of the things, one of the goals I'd like to see in 5 years.
That's awesome, sir. So I can't actually wait to see if you have facilities here. Maybe you can conduct leagues for homegrown
sure.
Phil-Ams,
absolutely,
right?
Sure. We've done some programs in my mom's hometown, Rosales, Pangasinan. We've done some trainings there every summer with some of my college players. So we do that. That's some of the things I like to share with my players that are in Pinas, to see the outside of Manila. Because not being in Manila doesn't mean that's the only part of the Philippines. You got to get out of Metro Manila once in a while and get exposed to the real world in regards to the province and how, you know, Filipinos are living outside Metro Manila. So
basically, this is actually going to be the time that we would let you have your message for Filipinos, not just Phil-Ams, but Filipino in general.
Oh, wow. Well, first thing I'd like to say is I hope everybody in the Philippines is safe and well, and that hopefully we can overcome the virus there in Pinas. I know you guys had a spike, so please, everyone, be safe and follow the protocol. In regards to basketball, for all Filipinos watching, I just say stay focused on your dreams. If you're a basketball junkie like myself, you keep working hard in what you want to do in the basketball world, but also don't forget that you live in not just the basketball world, but you live in the world of other people and be a good citizen to all and to each other.
All right, so thank you so much, sir, for guesting or accepting our invitation to be in our show. It's been an honor and a pleasure for us. So, for all the viewers out there, you already got to know the man behind Tumakbo United, and it's just an honor and a privilege for us, sir. So, to all our viewers, just one message before we end our show. It's Tumakbo is not just a basketball program. They are actually helping uh, Filipinos in general to not to excel not in just basketball but in the game called life. So magandang tanghali sa inyong lahat. We're out. Peace out.